Hi guys, so we're here today at this property located in the countryside. It's just in a little hamlet. It's a gorgeous day and the birds are tweetering, which you might hear in the background, but obviously typically there's a few people doing some chainsawing and things like that as well, as you would imagine in the countryside. But here we are, and I'm going to show you this property. It's 66,000 euros. It's an absolute bargain for what it is, and I'm going to show you why. So let's go. So I'm standing just by the road. As I said, always the same, there's something going, some sort of delivery happening up the road there. But as you can see, if I spin around as well, gorgeous sort of country lanes that lead to the house. And then obviously behind me is the sort of driveway to the house as well. So what we'll do is, I think we'll have a walk towards the house and show you inside, and then we'll do the land afterwards. So just after I recorded the intro, the delivery went. But as you can see, there's the lane and we've got the house here. Interestingly, for those who don't know, that orange marker demarks the sort of the land. So you can kind of see where the sort of the edge of your land is. So if we follow the driveway up, just on our left here, while we're here, I'm just going to show you, we've got an outbuilding that could be turned into a jeep. Now, inside, it's got some gorgeous features, but as you can see, there has been some damage to the roof. So that's something that would have to be fixed. But the tiles are in good condition, but you would have to probably replace some of the wood. So as we come along here, we've got another building that is dilapidated, I should say, and is obviously kind of falling down a little bit there. Something you can maybe use or turn into a shed, but that's not why you're buying this property. Really, why you're buying this property is for the location in the countryside, but also kind of the potential it has to offer. So obviously this side bit is breeze blocks, but the actual property itself has all been completely re-rendered and absolutely looks gorgeous. There's a new roof, as I will show you inside, but I'm just going to give you a little snippet because it's worth having a look of the land that comes with this property. So it is just this one field, so obviously the buildings at the top there aren't included, and it's just to the hedge line there and all the way down the bottom there as well. But as you can see, it's a gorgeous, beautiful building from outside. So the sun is in my eye, so sorry for the squinting, but we're outside the building. Now, this building actually had a fire, so it had damage to the structure of the ceiling and the roof. And as you'll see when we go inside, obviously there's a complete new roof, and all of the actual kind of woodwork, the framework of the roof has all been completely replaced, and they've also remortared all of the outside and everything else. So from the outside it looks kind of brand new, but from the inside, as you'll see, it needs some work. But what it does mean is that because it's had a brand new roof, that's a big chunk of money that you don't need to spend on. It's got double glazing, it's got shutters, so the outside of the building is done for you. There's nothing to do, but it does mean you got a bit of work inside. Let's go and have a look. So as we go into the property, as you can see, there's a bit of sort of smoke and a bit of damage, but it's not too bad. And it's got some lovely features like this amazing, gorgeous bread oven that you might be able to see by going closely inside. Still in pretty good condition, actually, to be fair. But we've got this lovely chimney here. And as we come round, obviously a pretty old basic kitchen. But this property does have water, it does have electrics, which means that at least you can kind of get going straight away. So yeah, obviously there's some work to do here, but again, as we go through into the bathroom, you can see that that's fairly new. You might want to change it, but to be fair, again, it's workable and it's kind of livable. So if you're looking kind of for a project, if you're looking for somewhere to come, live and do the works, then this is ideal really. And again, as I said, it's so much potential for the kind of like property that it is. We've got one room here, and then if I duck my head, and go backwards, we're through into another room as well. So again, it's quite a big room, sorry, it's a bit echoey, but it's a nice usable space. And if it was me, I'd probably knock through here to go into the second part of the house as well, which I can show you in a minute. So if we kind of go back through here, I'll sort of do a quick sweep of this room so you can kind of see it. As you say, there is some work to be done on it. There's a bit of sort of dampness coming through and things like that, but obviously no one's lived in this property for a long time now. And again, if we go through, just to kind of give you an idea, so there is actually a shower, there is actually a toilet, there is a faucettique. I believe it doesn't conform due to a few minor things, but I'm just waiting for the report to come back on that. And again, we've got a ballon for hot water. And if we just come out here, we can see the sort of the back garden and the land. So all of this bit is your land as well, coming round. So again, if you've got horses, this is absolutely ideal because you can look straight out onto your land and straight onto your horses. So let's go back through here. Again, got some gorgeous Tomet tiles here. You might want to rip them up, put something down and keep them for somewhere else, but it's a gorgeous feature that we've got. What a beautiful day it is today, eh? Look, there we are. Right, so if we carry on round to the sort of second half or second part of the house. So again, they've done some work here. As you can see, it's all got new wood. So the structure of the property is really, really good. And it's just really the sort of finishing touches. They've obviously laid some electrics in at some point to kind of give you power and things like that. But again, you know, you've got these gorgeous Tomets on the floor. Probably would want to try and replace them for something a bit more user-friendly, but you could always put them on top. Again, electricity board. So you do get quite a bit of lights coming in here, surprisingly, even though all of the windows are on sort of, or most of the windows on one side of the property. Come through, we've got a little cave or a little place where they've got some storage again. You know, probably open this up, either sort of, or keep it as a room but make it as an actual room. But sort of through there is the other room. So again, for me, I'd probably look at trying to open something up so you can actually get from one side of the house to the other. Now, this is where you've got sort of a lot of potential, because if we go upstairs, there's a lot of space here that is ripe for sort of redevelopment. So again, as you can see, fantastic roof, all in pristine condition. You've got nothing to worry about kind of there. Obviously, if you look there, look closely, you can see obviously the resemblance of some of the sort of fire damage that was here. But you've got some great space here, lovely head height, well, apart from the door, duck underneath the door. But yeah, again, you've got some kind of lovely head height, so there's easily room to put some nice bedrooms up here and a bit more sort of living space. If I swivel the camera out so you can see that's all of your land. Difficult to get around, but yeah, all of that land, gorgeous property, and look at those views. Looking at nothing on this side of the house, which is fantastic. So you can see why I think this house is an absolute bargain, because having this roof done, you know, is a big cost that you don't have to worry about. You know that all of the roof is done and you've got electrics, you've got water, everything that you need is here to get going. So it looks kind of worse than it kind of could be, in a way that you could quite easily renovate this property at, you know, fairly quickly, fairly cheaply, because of what's already here. All of the structure is here. It's just really the more kind of the decoration side of it, and obviously you'd have to kind of redo electrics and things like that to suit your needs of your house. But again, it's just got, you know, bags of character, all these lovely oak beams. It's got the land. I love this house, and I would definitely have it if I was looking for a project. So let's keep going. So if we go through here, back through here, I would probably have this middle space as some sort of office or lounge, one bedroom one side, or even a bathroom at the top here, and then another kind of bedroom up here as well. just going to watch my steps. So as you can see, they've new roof, everything's there. Nice for you to just crack on and do what you want to do with it. So that's the upstairs, and you can kind of see the potential that's here. You know, you could probably have a good 2, possibly 3 bedroom house here with a nice lounge, big kitchen. You know, there's quite a lot of possibilities that you can do. Let's go and have a look a little bit more at the land. So as we can see, the house here, and I was just talking about the land, so we'll have a quick walk up the field just so we can kind of have a look back. So all of this land here that you can see is also included. We'll go and have a look at that in a minute. But also this big field that's right next to the property is also included. So really the land just goes up to the top of where that building is, then along this hedge and all the way down really to where you can see those other houses. Let's have a quick look, walk around. There we are. So again, the possibility of having animals or doing something with this land, you know, to make use of it because it's right next to you is great. The land. Either the sun is going to be in the video or the sun is going to be in my eyes, and what I should have done is worn my sunglasses, and that way you wouldn't have been able to see me squinting. But we're just having a quick walk around the kind of the property here. Now, interestingly enough, if I spin around, there's quite a lot of storage for this house as well. So let's have a look at some of the outbuildings that come with the property. So first of all, we've got just a little lean-to here. Again, maybe storage, possibly animals. Again, good roof. We can see down here that the land that is also included. So as I said, really just this big field with a hedge running all the way around here, running around here. We've got the back of the property here. Again, we've only got one window at the back here, which is that bathroom window, which we saw before. There we are. So you can see where we are. There we are, is the kitchen. There's a gorgeous vines that run along here. So I suspect in the summer and late summer, early autumn, these are going to have some great grapes on them. So you can make your own wine. And then if we go through into this section here, we've got an outdoor building. Now, obviously there was some animals here previously. I'm hoping, although I'm not a horsey person, that there's enough headroom here for horses, but potentially you could raise it slightly just to give yourself a bit more room. There's a little window there, that's not a door, just a little window, but again, you could possibly change that into a door, so you've got one entrance one side and one entrance the other. But again, if you've got animals, this is a fantastic opportunity for you to have your animals right outside your front door. And there's the land again. So we're going to head around the corner here now, and we've got another little outbuilding here. So let's just pop our heads in here. Currently used as a bit of a wood storage, but again, whether or not you can sort of put some more horses in or storage, but it's always useful to have these kind of outdoor buildings, possibly a man cave or a workshop or anything else. So that's the house, and now we're going to have a quick walk around here and have a look at some of the outbuildings that are around here as well. Now, most of these aren't particularly in good condition. As I said, some of them are sort of falling down. There's a little shed there. There's a wall that is miraculously still staying up. We spin round, there's another wall that isn't staying up because it's got some wooden beams holding it up. But again, if we I'm going to come right to the end of the land here so you can kind of fully see what this property has to offer. And if I spin around, you can see there's that land marker again, so you can see where the land stops. Again, you've got your house. Look at that countryside. Oh, it's gorgeous. I love living here. And look at all of the land that you get as well. So obviously that building isn't savable. Well, maybe you might decide it is, but this little cottage is where I think you can really add value to this property. As you saw, it's kind of on the edge. You've got the other driveway the other side, and you've also got a driveway this side. So actually, you've got the potential to turn this into its own separate gîte or separate accommodation with possibly a little garden and things like that. Let's go in and have a look. Again, these little cottages, I love them. I absolutely love them because I just think they're just buckets of character and potential. I mean, look at that wooden beam. How big is that wooden beam? Massive. That's what's holding the house up. Anyway, I'll spin around. You can see the gorgeous fireplace. Obviously, at some point they had animals in here as well. Again, we spin round. However, the elephant in the room, dun dun dun, is this. So, as you can see, you shouldn't ever really be able to see sunlight from inside. However, if you look, most of the roof, I'll spin around, is in fairly good condition. And you've got the tiles and things like that. Now, I think at this moment in time, this is sort of savable. I think you need to replace one of these wooden beams, possibly a second wooden beam. So I'll go up to this one, you might not be able to see it because of the sunlight. But that beam is not savable. But if someone gets in quick, you can repair this and you can save it. And it's a shame that the owners have not noticed the leak sooner and done something about it. But there we are. It allows you guys to come in and grab yourself a bargain. So what can you do with this building? So is it just me that loves this, or do you love it too? I can't help but love these buildings. As I said, there's so much character to them. Obviously, this little building doesn't have electricity and water, so you're going to have to bring that over from the house. You're obviously going to have to repair the roof. But again, there's so much potential to have a gorgeous little gîte right on the edge of your property, which means you're not going to be distracted by them. They can have their own separate entrance, their own separate garden, and you can actually earn a little bit of money as well. That's why I love this property, because there's so much potential. Yet again, I'm looking into the sun. However, it gives you the best chance to see what's behind me and the potential of this property. 66,000 euros. It's an absolute bargain. Look how gorgeous that property is. Look how much land you're getting. The potential for a gîte, potential for income, potential to have your animals right outside your front door. It is nestled in a little hamlet. So yes, you've got, a neighbour there, a neighbour sort of quite close to you behind, a neighbour one other side. So, you have got neighbours. But don't forget, it's actually quite nice to have some neighbours, and if you're trying to integrate into the local community, it's a great way to do so as well. So, that's the property. 66,000 euros. I will put the details below if you're interested. And yeah, thank you for watching this week's video. Don't forget to subscribe and like so you can stay tuned with other videos that I'm doing as well. And I'll see you next time. Cheers guys, bye.